Welcome back. Happy hump day, everybody. We got a double dose of Prime Sports World coming to you today. As the first, we're bringing you fantasy football rankings for week number 16. And then me and TJ co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins, we're going to be bringing you the crossover. Where we're going to be talking about some stuff going on in the National Basketball Association, including the Bulls, Brooklyn Nets, and all-star voting is now open in the NBA. So you want to keep an eye out for that content. I'm David Huppin right there as the CEO of Prime Sports with Mr. Israel Rivera. Welcome into the show. Please like, share, and subscribe.
What's
and
going
this
on,
is
guys?
our fantasy football rankings for week number 16 for many leagues. This is the second week of the first round of the playoffs. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. We got some real barn burners in my fantasy league and greatest people. A friend of ours, Anthony Serrata and Brian Graber, are separated by 1 point. And then our boy, Bobby Schultz, Dalton Schultz's cousin, Bobby Schultz, is up by about 30 points on our boy, Jonathan Drulis. So he's going to need to do some coming back if he wants to come back in that matchup. I am in the finals in a league. I finished the season at 6-7, right? I was the 8th seed of the playoffs. I'm in the finals. So let's go, baby. Let's ride.
I'm in. You know what? I'm in the semifinal. I got eliminated out of AJ's league. I got shellacked by my boy Mike in my other league. So shout out to Big Mike. He's literally got the best team. He's been shellacking guys all year round, and out to only 1 loss this year for that guy. He's got a killer team, and I go over it, but I don't know if we got the time. He's got a killer team. He shellacked me like 150 to 80. We started DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams last week. Lost me my fantasy matchup with AJ's league. But you know what? Honestly, I'm a big believer in rolling with the guys that got you there. They got me there and lost to 8 matchup winning streak. So I was like, I gotta roll with them. And then this week, I am really running in some problems. I think my luck is gonna run out in one of my other money leagues. I am the 2 seed in that league, and my wide receivers are currently I am injured as all hell at the wide receiver position in that league. I have great running backs. That's the league I have those 4 good running backs.
Yeah.
And I have Kenneth Walker, and I have Deebo Samuel's injured. I had to release Rondale Moore. Travis Lock, Tyler Lockett's injured. Those are my teammates. And so I am looking to start this week Deontay Johnson, Richie James.
Oh, man. That's
Goodwin, who is hurt so far. So my luck is going to run out. And then Jalen Hurts may not play against the Cowboys. He's got a sprained shoulder. But he is saying that he might be a go. But at least I got Tua as my backup in that league.
Going up against your Green Bay Packers, who could potentially get their season ended.
I'm not gonna like it this week because I'm like, man, I'm rooting for the Packers, but then it's like, damn, like I got root for Tua because he's like, so I hope Tua puts up a hell of a game, but they still lose. So.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's get into it. Let's talk about fantasy football rankings. Let's talk about them quarterbacks. Let's start with my rankings. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes should have a game that he should have a big game passing there through Justin Herbert. 3, Joe Burrow. 4, Josh Allen. I know he's going up against the Chicago Bears, and I got him a little bit lower. But I do not think Josh Allen will need to throw the ball all that much to beat the Chicago Bears. So look for him to have a mediocre game on Josh Allen's. I look for Devin Singletary, that running back core, and Naheem Hines to have big games there. 5, Justin Fields. I know I left the S off Fields. I understand. It was a typo. He's going to have a good game there against Buffalo. 6, Kirk Cousins. 7, Trevor Lawrence, who's been on fire as of late. I know I'm really high on Trevor Lawrence, but I think he has a good game against the Jets. 8, Jared Goff, who's been balling this season. Number 9, Tua Tagovailoa. 10, Geno Smith. Number 1, outside looking in, Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott. And then my sneaky and daily is the exact same as yours, Jared freaking Goff, 5,400.
That's a killer. That's a killer. Jared Goff is as some guys like to say, he's turned from Jared Goof to Jared Goff this year. Yeah. So my guy Jared Goff, man. Starting number 1, and let me pull up my list here because I'm over here lazy. I got Josh Allen. I got Pat Mahomes at number 2. Oh my God, yes, Pat Mahomes. Number 3, I got Justin Herbert. At number 4, I got Joe Burrow. He's been hot lately. They're on a 6-7 game, 6-game win streak. Yep. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So Joe Burrow is my guy this week at number 4. At number 5, I got Justin Fields. Yeah. I still like his running ability there, going up into his matchup this week. And then at number 6, I got Geno Smith. 7, Kirk Cousins. 8, Tua Tagovailoa. Going up against my Green Bay Packers. I still think he's going to have a great game. I mean, Tyreek Hill, it's going to be really tough for the Green Bay Packers to try and contain Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle this week. And then I got running on my top 10, I got Aaron Rodgers in that same game. I like what I see out of his 2 young rookie wide receivers. He was real efficient.
He wasn't fantasy gold last week though. I would be
fantasy gold last week. No.
I think they're going to lean on that running game more than a lot for the rest of the way. I have him at 11, so I'm not saying he's going to have a bad start. But
he's kind of right there with you. He's right there. He's in my top 10. He's at number 11. You know what I think? I think that Miami knows that they're going to utilize that run game. So it's going to open Christian Watson up. He's getting, Romeo Dobbs back healthy. I think those two guys.
That Romeo Dobbs addition to your offense really opened up some of your passing attacks, especially that play action stuff. Having Romeo Dobbs back in the fold was big.
Yeah, absolutely. And then right on my top 10, I got Jared Goff, who is also, my daily play. And on my outside looking in, I got Dak Prescott, Tom Brady. Dak Prescott going up against Philly. Tom Brady and Trevor Lawrence. Yes, I do agree with you. Trevor Lawrence going up against New York. He has been, he's super hot.
Specifically over the last 5, 6, or 7 games, he's been the best quarterback when it comes to interception to touchdown ratio. He's thrown 13 touchdowns. He's only thrown 3 picks in that time. Yeah,
he has been phenomenal lately.
The only quarterback to throw the same amount of touchdowns as him over the stretch is Joe Burrow.
Year number 2, David.
Yeah,
he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
Already in year number 2, and I do apologize to everybody about my, I have a tendency to say some outlandish crap sometimes, right, David? I did say that in the long run, I said David Spills would be better than Trevor Lawrence. I am eating those words today. And then my cheap daily play is Jared Goff at 7,000. He is going to have a good game against Carolina. That offense has been buzzing the last 6 weeks or so.
Totally agree with you on that.
Pretty much.
Goff. I like your rankings as a whole. A little higher on Tom Brady than I'm personally done with Tom Brady as a quarterback this season. I don't think I can't start him in any league no matter what.
He's going against Arizona, David. I mean, Arizona.
I know, but I just I just think that he's finished. Like I just think that you watch him, he just doesn't look like somebody who wants to play football anymore.
It's not. I don't think it's that he doesn't want to play. I just think his offensive line is just. He's still. He's still putting up some. For a 44-year-old, he's putting up decent numbers. Sure. Middle of the pack numbers.
When he was responsible for 4 straight turnovers in the game against Cincinnati, was he a good quarterback then?
No, he was not. He was not. And well,
all right.
Whatever. All right, whatever. Anyways,
moving on from the quarterbacks, let's talk about them running backs. Let you go first with your running back rankings.
If you have any rankings and you do any fantasy show rankings, and if you are looking at any fantasy show rankings, and you don't have Derrick Henry as number 1, you need to go check yourself in the mirror, because Derrick Henry absolutely loves to play the Houston Texans. And Derrick Henry, guess who he's playing at home? The Houston Texans. Derrick Henry's my number 1 running back this week. At number 2, I got Austin Eckler. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey going against a stout Washington defense. That's going to be a pretty good game, I think, down there in San Francisco. But I do think Christian McCaffrey still has top 3 value with Deebo Samuel.
And as long as Deebo Samuel continues to be out, I think he's going to have – they're going to use him in a myriad of ways in the offense. Like, he's going to line him out in the wide receiver. He's going to line up in the backfield. He might even line up a tight end like a few snaps here.
Absolutely. At number 4, I got Saquon Barkley going up against Minnesota. They have not been that great against the run or good running backs. So, he's healthy. I honestly think if Jonathan Taylor was like kind of healthy last week, I think they may, shut they put up 33 points on the first half. Yeah, but I think Jonathan Taylor's in that game.
The combination of their defense / special teams put up 33 points. Their offense was pretty lackluster for a majority of the game.
Right. But I gotta go with Saquon Barkley, top 4 running back. You can run against Minnesota. At number 5, Dalvin Cook. Number 6, Josh Jacobs. At number 7, I got Tony Pollard. 8, I got Aaron Jones going up against a top 10. Miami's a top 10 rushing defense, but I like what I saw out of Aaron Jones. The 1-2 punch of him and AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones got more yards.
But especially AJ Dillon went out with an injury during that game. He may or may not be available. He may or not be available for that game against Miami. So all of those carries that went to AJ Dillon are going to fall back to Aaron Jones. His usage should be through the roof in that game.
Yep, absolutely. Catching the football as well. And oh my God, David! If you had Aaron Jones last week, right, which I had, and I needed like 3 more. I think I needed 3 touchdowns to probably win my fantasy matchup. They deprived them of a touchdown because they were up so much. They were up by 2 scores. They needed it at the 1. They could have just gave it to Aaron Jones. He could have punched it in and got a second touchdown. So, yeah, he definitely has value against Miami. And then at number 9, I got Nick Chubb. And then right on my top 10 is Jerick McKinnon going up against Seattle from Kansas City. Jerick McKinnon. I like Jerick McKinnon. His value. I like the change of pace role that he has, and they use him a lot in passing situations. So yeah, Jerick McKinnon is a top 10 running back this week going up against Seattle. Now I'm outside looking in. I got Ramondre Stevenson. Hopefully he redeems himself this week from the debacle last week against Seattle, against Cincinnati, and then I got Alvin Kamara and Miles Sanders. I know you're not big on Alvin Kamara.
I got Alvin Kamara higher than you do. I'm
just saying, like overall, on the season, you're just disappointed.
He's in my shit list with Russell Wilson.
Yes. So I got Alvin Kamara on my outside looking in, and then if you're looking for a cheap option in FanDuel, look at James Cook this week. He's cheap at 5,300, and I just think when you look at them going against Chicago's just not good stopping the run, stopping the pass at all. I look for James Cook to do some damage on the ground, and it's going to be really cold, snowy this Saturday, or they're playing Saturday, right? Or Sunday?
Correct.
Is it Sunday? Yeah. So
yes,
I think Saturday. So it's going to be snow. They're going to have to rely on the run game. We all know it's going to be real windy down there in Chicago. Josh Allen, I know he has a strong arm, but that wind is going to affect the passing game this week. So they're going to rely a lot on Devin Singletary and James Cook. I like James Cook to run that football at 5,300. this week.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara just burnt me for like 3 straight weeks, and I still like him as a football player. He burnt me pretty bad. Him and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, it's instead of let's ride, let's have a slow, painful death is what he gave me instead.
I think for New Orleans, the sense of urgency going into Cleveland must be there. They must feed Alvin Kamara. He's their best offensive weapon. He's their best player. He's their best offensive player. They have to feed him the ball as much as they can because this is a sense that they could still win the NFC South.
Because nobody wants to win the NFC South.
Sense of urgency has to be there for New Orleans.
Moving on from your rankings to mine. I got Derrick Henry at number 1, King Henry. He always seems to put up massive numbers going against the Houston Texans. I expect no different here for a team that really needs to win. 2, Dalvin Cook. One of the areas that the New York Football Giants have really struggled this season is with the running game. They've allowed big rushes to lesser running backs than Dalvin Cook. I assume he's going to have a good game. 3, Nick Chubb. I know that New Orleans Saints defense is really good against the run. I just think they'll be on the field a ton. So that's some value there for Nick Chubb. 4, Austin Eckler. 5, Christian McCaffrey. 6, Joe Mixon. Higher than you have Joe Mixon. I know the Samaje Perine's going to be involved in the offense, but Joe Mixon, I think he bounces back in a big way against New England. 7, Aaron Jones. 8, Josh Jacobs. 9, Saquon Barkley. 10, James Conner. As long as Kyler Murray is going to be out, I think they're going to lean on James Conner, and he's going to get 1 billion touches in this game because they don't have anybody who's really proven to be his backup. I don't believe in Eno Benjamin. Is Deontay, whatever the other guys, whoever's left. Outside looking in, Alvin Kamara, Miles Sanders, and then Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots. Yes, I think he bounces back off of that debacle there on Sunday with Jacoby Myers. And then my sneaky and daily DraftKings, I got Chuba Hubbard at 4,900. Deontay Foreman kind of got banged up a little bit in that game. He's touchdown dependent. Chuba Hubbard a little bit more involved in the passing game. He has some value there in the Carolina Panthers. And Tyler Algier, running back for the Atlanta Falcons, 5,200. This is the first game last week where he was more productive than Cordell Patterson. So I think they're going to continue to give him the rock as they continue through the season, as Desmond Ridder is going to be their guy for the rest of the way at 5,200.
Yeah, he ran that rock extremely hard last week. I expect him to keep it going this week. So,
yep. From my running backs, let's talk about them pass catchers, wide receiver position. Number 1, Justin freaking Jefferson. Me and Christian got into a whole thing yesterday about who the best wide receiver in football is. I said Justin Jefferson. He said Tyreek Hill. I don't think you can go wrong either way, but I would rather have Justin Jefferson. 2, Jamar Chase. 3, Stephon Diggs. 4, Devontae Adams. Hopefully he bounces back, which was a pretty bad game last week against the Patriots. The Raiders kind of have to win in order to stay alive. 5, Tyreek Hill. That Alexander matchup between him and Zaire Alexander will be interesting to watch. We'll see if they follow Shield around for the entire game. 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, the Detroit Lions. Look for them to keep rolling in their game on Sunday or Saturday. I don't remember what day it is. 7, Mike Williams. 8, Garrett Wilson. 9, DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett's out, so DK Metcalf should get a majority of those Tyler Lockett looks. 10, A.J. Brown. And my outside looking in, I got DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, C.D. Lamb. And then my outside looking in, sneaky and daily, KJ Osborne at 4,500 was a monster start if you started him last week against the Colts. He's been more involved in their offense as the weeks have gone by, as Adam Thielen's kind of getting phased out a little bit here by KJ Osborne, a tad. And then Jahan Dotson for the Washington Commanders at 3,900 had a really good game, 4 catches for like 125 yards in that game against the Giants. He seems to be wide receiver 2 there for sure, and the number 2 passing option for the Commanders in a game they may be down in against the 49ers.
Yeah, no, I like it. Jahan Dotson, man, yeah, he took some of those targets in that touchdown away from Terry McLaurin. So and KJ Osborne had an amazing week last week. I expect him to keep it going. Yeah,
I think he had like 150 yards receiving in that game.
It was pretty remarkable. For KJ Osborne. What a great showing. Anyways, my number 1 is Justin Jefferson too. And yes, I agree with you, David. I do think he is the best wide receiver in football. So we're on the same wavelength here. I'm sorry, Christian, I don't agree with you. I don't think Tyreek Hill is better than Justin Jefferson at all. It's close, but I'd rather take Justin Jefferson at this point. Number 2, Devontae Adams. I do expect him to, bounce back this week. Last week
going up against the Steelers. I think the week they put up last week was an outlier.
Definitely an outlier. The only thing that that he has going against him is that they're playing at Pittsburgh, which maybe the outside inclement weather that's might be coming through there.
Well, whatever weather's coming here should be there on Saturday whenever they play. Was it that's Sunday night? Yeah. So whatever
should be snowing.
By the way, yeah. So James, Franco Harris passed away. They were planning on doing this big thing at that game. That's the reason it's on primetime. Me and Kristen talked about this yesterday. He passed away this morning, so thoughts to his family and his friends.
Yes,
Franco Harris,
one of the greatest running backs. Hey, let me tell you, one of the greatest running. I was talking about this earlier with some guys. 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons for Franco Harris when they were playing 14-game slates. Okay, 7 out of 8 1,000-yard seasons for Franco Harris. He is one of the greats. Rest in peace to his soul. He will be missed. Immaculate reception. Anyways, Stephon Diggs at number 3. Then at number 4, I got Tyreek Hill. Then at number 5, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, the sun god. Yes, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the man. He's totally upped his numbers from last year to this year. He's going to surpass them this year. So he is the man there in Detroit. And then number 6, I got Jamar Chase. 7, DK Metcalf. And number 8, I got Jalen Waddle. And then right on my top 10, I got Keenan Allen and A.J. Brown going up against the Dallas Cowboys. And I think A.J. Brown still has value, even if Gardner, Minshew Mania,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So
one thing you know about Minshew, he's going to throw it. So
he's gonna throw it, and he's gonna find the number 1 receiver to really get that ball to. Okay, and then on my outside looking in, I have CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and DeAndre Hopkins. Still has value there. With Colt McCoy at quarterback. Going up against
it's going to be Trace McSorley.
Is it going to be Trace McSorley?
Colt McCoy was not cleared for. Wasn't cleared, so it's going to be Trace McSorley.
Wasn't cleared, concussion.
But okay. I still think DeAndre Hopkins will have such a high target share; it will not matter.
Oh man, Trace McSorley's not that good of a quarterback. Anyways, sorry, Trace McSorley. I didn't mean you're a good NFL player. I just don't think you're a great quarterback. Backup, Thurston, FanDuel. Marquise Goodwin is my cheap in daily at 5,800. I know he's dealing with an ankle injury. He was limited participating in practice today. He has some time to kind of practice tomorrow just to kind of clear himself. This is a little bit of a setback. I expected Marquise Goodwin to step into that number 2 slot because Tyler Lockett's out. The week before, I know he had only 2 receptions last week, but the week before against Carolina, he had 95 yards and like 4 or 5 catches. So Marcus,
he's their speedy go route guy. I mean, if they're gonna go deep, it's gonna be to him.
Yeah, and KC hasn't been as consistent defensively. They're giving up some yards to Houston, so I expect Marquise Goodwin, if he is healthy and he is there, I think he can bust a couple for you. So roll the dice for Marquise Goodwin, cheap at FanDuel.
I agree on that. I'll agree on that for sure. Moving on from wide receivers, let's talk about those other pass catchers, the tight ends. Let's roll with your rankings first. Number 1 tight end is obvious.
Oh yeah, number 1 tight end, obviously Travis Kelce, number 1 tight end to the end of time till the day he retires. Going up against Seattle. And number 2, I got George Kittle going up against Washington. Brock Purdy is really looking for him. Then without Debo, he's just getting more of a target share there in San Francisco. And then number 3, I got Mark Andrews. You know what? He probably should be a little lower on this list because Tyler Huntley is just not consistent enough in the passing game. But he is going against Atlanta. So I expect Harbaugh to kind of, and they're on a playoff push, so they have to win this game. I expect Mark Andrews to be targeted a lot more in this game. T.J. Hockenson at number 4. At number 5, I got Dalton Schultz, Bobby Schultz, cousin Dalton Schultz. Number 6, I got Pat Freiermuth. At number 7, David Njoku. Yeah, I got David Njoku in my top 10. I think I still believe that Deshaun Watson, him and Deshaun Watson, I mean, they're going to get on the same page eventually. I know this is the lost season.
I mean, he's been good the last few weeks, even with he's got a touchdown. He had some pretty good. He had target share last week. He's been solid for them so far this year.
Yep, absolutely. Him and Donovan Peoples-Jones in that passing attack. And then number 8, I got Gerald Everett going up against Indianapolis. That totally expect Gerald Everett to do. I mean, he's kind of had a disappointing season, but at least against Indianapolis, I think he can get a red zone touchdown in this game.
I thought Gerald Everett was going to be much more involved. I think because of Rashawn Slater getting injured early, I think Gerald Everett has had to block more than he probably planned on when he signed there. So that probably has hindered his value. But Rashawn Slater might come back in a few weeks. So
yes, and at number 9, right on my top 10, I got Evan Ingram, who is paired up with the smoking hot Trevor Lawrence, and right on my top 10, we got a Darren Waller sighting. I see him out there.
I didn't even realize that he was back in the league. Like I was like, oh, he got a touchdown. Like, oh, Darren Waller's playing in the NFL again. Like, what?
He had a touchdown last week, and he's going against Pittsburgh. I expect Darren Waller to get another touchdown this week. And then on my outside looking in, I got Greg Dulcich, Taysom Hill, and Dawson Knox. Yeah, Dawson Knox going up against Chicago. And then I got 2 options in FanDuel that you can look at. One of them is Noah Fant. I know he had a garbage touchdown last week in a way, but I expect Noah Fant, kind of keep, at least 4 or 5 receptions. Hopefully he gets in the end zone for you. And then at 5,100, Cole Kmet. I mean, this kid's gotten so much better in Chicago. He's definitely the number 1 target for Justin Fields. I expect him, to play, have a good big game against a top opponent in Buffalo, play up to the competition. I'm hoping he can get a touchdown this week for you guys. He's cheap at 5,100, and Cole Kmet's been targeted a lot by Justin Fields down the stretch here.
100%. I love the Cole Kmet pick. From my side of this, from yours to mine, number 1, Travis Kelce. Yes, he'll be the number 1 tight end until he retires. And even then, it's still a gamble if he's going to be my number 1 tight end. Number 2, George Kittle. 3, TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, TJ Hawkinson's fit in seamlessly into this Viking offense. He's just been great. 4, Mark Andrews. Yes, I'm very concerned about Tyler Huntley. The rapport hasn't really been there between him and Tyler Huntley. Certainly not the way he had it with Lamar Jackson. 5, Evan freaking Ingram. When he can actually catch the football, he's a very good tight end. He's all talent, is all get up, and Trevor Lawrence is clearly looking for him. Keep rolling with him if you got him. 6, Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz. 7, Darren freaking Waller, the wall, baby. We had a Darren Waller signing. I had him in a league, and I dropped him, and I wasn't paying attention to his status, and I started Foster Moreau in that league. I still won the matchup, but Foster Moreau put me up like 0.4 points. I was very upset. But good to see Darren Waller back on the football field. 8, David Njoku. 9, Pat Freiermuth. 10, Gerald Everett. And then my outside looking in, Juwan Johnson. You know who has the second most touchdowns at the tight end position this season?
Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson does. He has the second most receiving touchdowns at the tight end position this year, trailing only Travis Kelce. Juwan Johnson is somebody who just gets in the end zone. He's my outside looking at number 11. He obviously has a rapport with Andy Dalton as well. And then Cole Kmet, Dawson Knox, round up my outside looking in. And then my sneaky in DraftKings, Brock Wright. Brock Wright is the one that caught the game-winning touchdown last week for the Detroit Lions as they beat the New York Football Jets. Brock Wright, I think 2,800. I mean, I think that's a pretty good gamble. Jared Goff.
That was like his only catch, though. I'd say that was his only catch.
It was.
And he took it to the house, baby. Took it to the house.
There's talent there. Talent trumps. He's going to get more usage.
Hey, Wright's a former Notre Dame Irish.
Yeah.
Okay? Got a shout out to my Notre Dame Irish.
That's my tight end rankings. Juwan Johnson, I think if he's available, you should probably pick him up in waivers if he's there. I think he's going to be a focal point of the offense going forward, at least for the rest of the year. Moving on from the tight end ranking, let's talk those defenses. My number 1 defense is the exact same as yours. 40 freaking Niners. They have the best defense in the National Football League. Look for them to have a big game here, going up against
They're going against the
Washington
Commanders.
Thank you very much. 2 Buffalo Bills. I think they'll force Justin Fields into some bad decisions. 3 Cleveland Browns. I just like this matchup for the Cleveland Browns. 4 Denver Broncos. This defense is still stout, and they're going up against a backup quarterback. So look for them to get after it. 5 Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens have to win this game, and they're probably going to be in a low-scoring affair. They have not allowed that many points this season, and going up against Atlanta and Desmond Ridder, who's a rookie. I think that's a good game for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
And then outside looking in, I got the Chargers going up against Nick Foles now in the Indianapolis Colts. But watch Big Dick have one of those.
No! I'm just
look for Nick Foles to have one of those games where people are like, "Oh yeah, he's good." And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Arizona Cardinals with Trace McSorley at quarterback, and then 3 Tennessee Titans. 1, and my outside looking in, Sneaky and Daily Ravens at 3,200.
You Bears fans started naming them that, and I'm like, yo,
no, that started in Philly. Let's be real. That started in Philly.
It started Philly. All right, but you Bears fans you took it and just ran with it when he was in Chicago, and I got sick of it. I'm like, stop calling that. Oh my god. Any freaking ways. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers, baby. Yes, they're going to get against Washington. Taylor Heineke, as good as Washington has, they struggled a little bit last week against New York. They will continue to struggle this week on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. Number 2, I got Buffalo going up against Chicago. Number 3, I got Baltimore. Yes, you're right, going up against Desmond Ridder. I expect Baltimore to give them all sorts of problems. They're going to have to run the football, and Baltimore has a top 10 run defense in the league. So, good luck, Atlanta. At number 4, and they're at home, by the way, which plays in their favor. At number 4, I got the Tennessee Titans going up against the Houston Texans. Yes, I do think Derrick Henry will get the ball a lot. I do think he will impose his will. They'll have long drives that will kill this defense, leaving the offense in flux a little bit here. Not sustaining. I don't think they'll sustain any drives. Tennessee has to. They have to play with some sense of urgency. I think they do against Houston at home. Love Tennessee's defense. And then round out my top 5, I got the Denver Broncos going up against Baker Mayfield and the LA Rams. Still have a stout defense there. They're going into LA. Another week with Baker, but I
expect that game to be super low scoring.
Whoever
gets 10 points may win the game.
Field goal fest. Denver Broncos defense put up 10 points last week. I expect them to do this same thing this week. On my outside looking in, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Going up against the Arizona Cardinals and Trace McSorley. Good luck, Trace McSorley. I think that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense will play with some sense of urgency. I do think that they will end up becoming the NFC South winner.
I agree with you, but
I do think, but they'll be stumbling into the playoffs, and they're gonna host a playoff game. Dave, can you believe that?
They're probably gonna host. They're probably gonna host the Cowboys.
They are going to host the playoff. This is insane. Anyways, and then I got Philly and Cincinnati running on my outside looking in. And then if you're looking for a cheap option in FanDuel, look at the Cincinnati Bengals at 4,000 going up against New England at New England. I just think they're going to put up they're going to put up points. They're going to force Mac Jones to throw the football. Whatever weather we're getting here, they're going to get there up there in Boston, Massachusetts. It's going to be snowing. And I think that the Cincinnati Bengals, they have been playing physically these last 6 weeks. I think it's going to be a bad time for New England at their place. Give me Cincinnati at 4,000 this week.
I like that Cincinnati pick. If I were to have like a 4th team in my outside looking in, Cincinnati would be there for sure.
Yes.
We'll see what that weather ends up being like when they actually take the field. Let's talk about number 1 score in fantasy last week. Do you know who was the number 1 scorer in fantasy last week?
Oh, man. Was it Trevor Lawrence? Was it Trevor Lawrence?
No, Trevor Lawrence was 10, I think.
He was 10. Okay. Godly.
10, yeah.
Who was the number 1 scorer?
Josh Allen actually was with 35.86 fantasy points, 304 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Jalen Hurts was number 2, wasn't he? Was Jalen Hurts 2?
Zay Jones was actually number 2.
Oh, get out of here.
Zay Jones had a hat trick of touchdowns, 6 catches for 109 yards and 3 tutties. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah. So,
jeez.
But yeah, who do you think will be the number one scorer in fantasy this particular week?
I got 2 guys in mind. One of the guys, I'm actually going to go with Derrick Henry as my top guy to be, top fantasy scorer this week. If it ain't Derrick Henry, I'm going to roll with Travis Kelce going up against the Seattle Seahawks. I like what I saw out of George Kittle. They had a tough time dealing with him against Seattle's defense did. They will have an even tougher time dealing with Travis Kelce this week. I expect him to have 2 to 3 touchdowns, 100+ yards.
So I like that a lot. I was going to take Derrick Henry as my choice for the number one scorer in fantasy this week, but you took him. I'm actually going to go a little bit outside of the norm here, and I'm actually going to take the San Francisco 49ers defense to be the number one scorer in fantasy this week. I think they forced Tyler Heineke into some mistakes. Nobody gives him a 6-pack of Heineken, so he's all upset. And yeah, I think they stifle that offense in the Washington Commanders offense. I think they turn them over. I think they get a couple in the end zone on the defensive side of the ball. The San Francisco 49ers will be the number one scorer in fantasy next week. Their defense.
That is bold for you to put a defense out there like that. I am going to roll with my players. I am not going to go with defense.
If it ends up not being, I'll go Justin Jefferson going up against in Minnesota, going up and get the good matchup for him. So you give me Justin Jefferson. If it doesn't end up being the San Francisco 49ers defense, I will take Justin Jefferson.
Against the Giants. I expect Justin Jefferson to eat against the New York Giants. I mean, they have literally who's going to check them? Who's checking them?
I have no idea. I don't know how the Giants have been winning games this season. I'm be frank.
Me neither.
I have no idea. But yeah, that's been our fantasy football ranking show. This is our ranking week for week number 16. I've been David Huffman. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Israel Vera. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And Izzy, what are we doing in the Prime, my friend?
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel it. It's cold, but here we bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bring 24/7, baby.
Absolutely, 100%. And we'll be back here with the crossover episode. That gets started in about 10 minutes. So keep an eye out for that content. You guys all have a good night and stay safe out there. And if you're gonna get bad weather, please make sure you're somewhere safe. Just don't drive if you don't have to.
Yes, make sure you get your Twinkies tonight.
Yeah. Take it easy, man.
Guys.